Hey everybody, I'm JJ Johnson. You're watching Reality Survival. So today what I want to talk about is the 5 most important items in a pandemic SHTF kit. You know, if you put together a kit that will help you deal with a pandemic in your home, then I think these are the 5 most important items that I would say. Now, I will say that there's probably about 25 items or so that could all be the most important items at different points, but these are just the 5 that I picked out that I think are probably kind of universally useful in most pandemic type situations. Pandemic, I think, is probably a very good possibility of something that we could see when you look at the statistics, you know, on how often we have a big influenza kill-off. You know, throughout history, this has been a pretty common occurrence. But our last really big one was like 1918 or something like that. So we're pretty overdue. You know, vaccinations and stuff have been holding it off, but that has also kind of made the strains a little more resistant, and so it could be bad. You know, we've seen a lot of flare-ups from avian flu and different stuff like that, seeing it jump from different species to different species. That's always a bad indicator. So having a pandemic kit is kind of important, and I highly recommend you put one together. You could start by using these 5 items. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this started. So the first thing, or number 5 on the list, is going to be just your basic bleach and or Pine Sol. And you know, I got this stuff at a dollar store, so it was only $1. The thing with bleach is you do need to replace it periodically. It's not going to have an extremely long shelf life. So after probably about every year or so, you need to replace your liquid bleach. If you want to keep bleach in solid form, like pool shock and stuff like that, then that, you know, like it's essentially chlorine. That is a potential option as well. But essentially, you just want to use these items to be able to keep your surfaces clean, use it for decontamination if you had to, you know, whatever the case may be. That's going to kill off germs really well. In that same category, I would probably go ahead and throw in some, you know, antibacterial wipes and stuff like that. If you're going to get wipes, you got to be careful, because like these wipes here did not have a seal on the top of it, so I kind of taped it down to make it last longer. Again, something you may have to replace periodically. These actually have a plastic seal over them. Both of them were bought at the dollar store. So again, they're not that expensive if you have to renew it, you know, every year or so. Okay, number 4 on the list is going to be just some nitrile gloves, you know, latex gloves, whatever, or nitrile is probably better because there's no latex in it. Nobody has an aversion to them. Gloves are going to be a great way to basically keep the germs down. If you're dealing with, you know, items that have been exposed to the virus and stuff like that, then that's just going to help keep your exposure down. Number 3 on the list is going to be the NIOSH N95 masks. Okay, I get the healthcare medical grade ones, and what I've been told is that they last just a little bit longer. They resist breakdown a little bit more. You can get these off Amazon. I'll throw some links down below. They're really, you know, pretty cheap right now, so it's definitely something to look into. I think the 95s, looking into them and the difference between some of the other ones, it's really pretty insignificant when you get, you know, considering the cost. So these are the ones that you can get at a fairly cheap price, and I think that the 3M ones are, you know, pretty good ones to go with. So again, I'll put a link down in the description below if you guys want to check those out. Now here's some other ones that I just picked up a couple of boxes for after listening to Brad from Full Spectrum Survival about his pandemic kit. These are from Curad, and it says that it inactivates 99.9% of flu viruses, and so that included swine flu and bird flu. So I thought that was kind of cool, so I bought a couple of boxes of these. These are not, as far as I know, N95 rated, but again, just another option there. So I'll have a link down in the description below for that too. So that's 5, 4, 3. Number 2 is going to be a good old-fashioned thermometer. Okay, being able to monitor everybody's temperature during a pandemic is going to be important, because at the first signs of someone being infected, you really want to try to segregate them, maybe put them in a quarantined area or something like that, if at all possible. So doing regular checks of body temperature could be really important. Now, you could also have the digital ones too, but batteries, there's no batteries in this one, so I kind of like the old-fashioned style. These are getting harder to find, by the way. This one is not even a mercury one. It's got some other stuff in there. I couldn't find one with mercury in it on Amazon, but it's a good option to have. Now, the number one thing on a pandemic preparedness type kit is just soap. Regular old hand soap. I like Dial. It is an antibacterial type soap, and I think it works really well. I've got tons of boxes of these. Again, you can get them at the dollar store, a dollar for a couple bars. And washing your hands is by far the number one thing that is going to keep you from getting sick or keep other people from getting sick. So you want to have plenty of soap on hand. You can also use hand sanitizer and stuff like that, but just good old-fashioned soap will work just fine. It won't dry your hands out as much and stuff either. So anyway, guys, that is just the top 5 items for a pandemic preparedness kit, in my opinion. Again, I've got like 4 crates full of stuff that I think is important. So I'm not saying that this is only 5. I'm just saying that these are like the most general use, high impact items that you could start a kit with at a relatively, reasonable price, and then you can add to that kit as you go. The majority of the stuff that I got from my kit was found at the dollar store. You just have to pay attention to the size and the number, the count of the items that are in them, and all that kind of stuff. Make sure it's what you want, because sometimes at dollar stores the packaging can be deceptive, and it can look like it's a full thing when really it's only a smaller amount or whatever. So just kind of pay attention to those numbers. But there are good deals to be had at dollar stores. So anyhow, guys, that's pretty much it. I would love for you guys to put down in the comments below what you think your top 5 items are for a pandemic preparedness kit. That would be really cool, and I look forward to reading that list. As always, guys, I definitely appreciate it when you click the thumbs up button, when you share it with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And don't forget to live the 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys.